Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Jamaica News in Review. NWC worker gunned down in Waterford, St. Catherine. The St. Catherine South Police are investigating the shooting death of 35-year-old employee of the National Water Commission who was gunned down on Saturday night. The deceased has been identified as Kemar Davis of Sprawlway in the parish. According to law enforcers, about 7:50 on Saturday night, residents reported hearing gunshots and summoned the police. Upon arrival at the scene, the police found Davis suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to his upper body. He was taken to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. No motive has yet been established for the killing. Lottery scamming behind St. Bess farmer's death. Police believe lottery scamming is behind Sunday morning's killing of a man and the wounding of two others at a party in Cottage Newmarket, St. Elizabeth. Police have identified the dead man as Devoru Durant, a 28-year-old farmer from Braes River in the parish. The injured persons are 20 and 28 years old. The commanding officer for the St. Elizabeth Police Division, Superintendent Dwight Daly, told reporters that investigators have launched a top-level probe into the killing. "We are following several leads, but our investigation are pointing to lottery scamming as a possible motive," Superintendent Daly reported. He also revealed that the promoters of the party where the incidents occurred had applied and were given a permit for it to be held. Reports indicated that about 1:40 a.m., while the party was in full swing, Durant and another man were in his car when gunmen approached the vehicle. Police said the men opened fire, killing Durant and injuring the 20-year-old. The other man was standing near the car and was hit. He was not with Durant and the other man. Man killed at fundraising event in Manchester. Police are probing the murder of a 37-year-old man who was gunned down at a fundraising event in Davyton in Manchester on Saturday night. The deceased has been identified as Aldane Belinfante, a resident of Davyton. A police report said about 9:25 p.m., Belinfante was at the event when two gunmen pounced on him and opened gunfire. He was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. This latest incident brings to 14 the number of people killed in the South Central Parish since the start of the year. On Thursday, the Manchester Police announced that they will not grant entertainment permits to 6 communities in the parish as part of efforts to fight crime and keep communities safe. Head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Lloyd Darby stated that restrictions have been imposed on entertainment events in Comfort, Broadleaf, Hearties, Greenvale, Newhall and Maypen. 33-year-old man suspected of committing suicide in St. Catherine. A St. Catherine man is suspected to have committed suicide at his home in Ebonyville, St. Catherine, Sunday morning. The deceased has been identified as 33-year-old Anthony Green. According to information received from the Constabulary's Communications Unit, Green was found hanging from a staircase with a belt tied around his neck. He was taken to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Family members revealed to reporters that Green had lost his job 2 weeks ago. 12 shot at party in Franklin Town. 12 people were shot and injured during a party in Franklin Town, East Kingston on Sunday night. They have all been admitted to hospital. Reporters understand that about 11:05 p.m., the party was being held at the intersection of Wellington Street, York Street and Lacey Road in Franklin Town. It is reported that a barrage of gunshots were heard. When the shooting subsided, 12 persons were found suffering from gunshot wounds. They were taken to hospital where they were admitted in stable condition. Bloodletting continues in St. James. Western Jamaica accounts for 35% of murders so far this year, and St. James continues to be the hotbed for the gruesome act. It is reported that on Sunday, a man was fatally shot in the head in Montego Bay. According to the police, the man was sitting in a car along Duke Street about 9:40 p.m. when two men approached him on a motorcycle. They stopped beside him, then fired several shots into his head. The police were alerted and the man was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The deceased has not yet been identified, however. Police have described him as having brown complexion, being about 5 feet 7 inches tall, and of medium build. At the time of his death, the man was wearing a blue nautical cap, blue sweater, blue jeans, and a pair of Reebok slippers. Prior to this, 44-year-old Gavin Coward, a vendor of Hendon in Glendavon, was shot and killed along Howard Crooks Boulevard in Montego Bay last Wednesday, April 6. In that incident, the police said they responded to calls from residents who said they heard what sounded like gunshots about 5:45 a.m. The police found Coward lying in a pool of blood. He had gunshot wounds to his upper body. Addressing a press conference last week, Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson revealed that the western belt of the island, which includes St. James, has accounted for 35% of murders committed across the island since the start of the year. Commander of Area 1 Police Division, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Clifford Chambers, has attributed the bulk of killing in the division to internal gang feuds. The Area 1 Police Division encompasses the parishes of St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and Westmoreland. Woman hospitalized following St. Thomas crash. A woman has been hospitalized after the motor vehicle in which she was traveling collided with a truck along a section of the Southern Coastal Highway in St. Thomas. It is reported that sometime after 7 a.m. yesterday, the driver of a white Nissan AD wagon and his female passenger were traveling in a westerly direction towards Kingston. Upon reaching a section of the highway, the driver attempted to overtake a truck which was traveling directly in front of him. The driver of the Nissan reported lost control of the car, causing it to hit the truck before slamming into the median and coming to an halt in front of the large vehicle. The impact caused the female passenger to be trapped inside the car, and she had to be cut free with the assistance of a team from the St. Thomas Fire Brigade. She was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital for treatment. District Officer at the Yalas Fire Department, Delroy Williams, who was on the scene, encouraged motorists to be careful when utilizing the new roadway. Just over a week ago, traffic had to be diverted from the Southern Coastal Highway after a truck laden with sand overturned along the major thoroughfare. It was reported that the driver of the truck failed to navigate a corner and slammed into the median before capsizing. St. Anne protesters vow to keep blocking roads. The police are keeping a watchful eye on protesters who blocked the Brownstone Main Road from midnight on Sunday to call attention to what they say are deplorable roads. Lawmen said they were alerted to the impassable roads about 2:30 a.m. on Monday. They had managed to clear some of the debris and traffic is once again flowing. The protesters, including taxi and bus operators, who withdrew their services. One taxi driver, Wayne, told reporters that as a driver for 13 years, he is fed up with the road condition. When we don't have near accidents, we are damaging our vehicles badly. Every week, we have to be under the vehicle doing repair work, and it is very costly. And then you have examiners coming out to situate that our vehicles are in tip-top condition, which is totally impossible, and we're tired of it, he said. They have vowed to keep blocking the road until they hear of a plan to have the road fixed. Security guard slapped with assault charges. A 45-year-old security guard has been charged with multiple offenses including assault at common law, assault occasioning bodily harm, and illegal possession of firearm. Charge is Gawain Stedward of an Also Spring address in Trelawney. According to the Falmouth police, after using his gun to threaten a man, Gawain wielded the weapon, hitting the individual on his shoulder. He then punched the man several times all over his body before leaving the scene. The incident happened on Sunday, April 10, on Lower Parade Street in Trelawney. The injured man later filed a report with the police, resulting in Gawain turning himself in. The accused victim subsequently identified his attacker in a lineup. Gawain's firearm was seized following his arrest and charged. Manhunt on for Beverly shooter. Police have launched a manhunt for a man who they believe shot and killed 28-year-old Kimarley Bryan in Beverly District near Magoli on April 3rd. Several operations have been carried out in search of the shooter. "We have not been able to capture him as yet," said head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Lloyd Darby. Brian had just shared Sunday dinner for himself and two of his relatives when a gunman walked up and shot him in his face. A report from the Constable's Corporate Communications Unit said about 7:25 p.m., Brian was at his sister's shop when a gunman entered, ordered an item, and exited. The police said shortly after, explosions were heard and Brian was seen suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. A relative who asked not to be named believes that Brian's killer was in relation to an argument at a party in the neighboring community of Evergreen. "He did have one argument with one guy in Evergreen on Saturday night at a dance," the relative said. Brian was reportedly performing stunts with his car when the man allegedly threatened to kill him. Superintendent Darby said the man who is accused of making the threat was taken into custody. Speaking at the Manchester Chamber of Commerce Town Hall meeting at the Manchester Golf Club last Thursday, Darby listed a person of interest in the matter. He said Manchester has recorded an increase in murders, with 13 people being killed since the start of this year in comparison to 8 for the corresponding period last year. He said the police have a clear-up record of 46% in relation to murders. "We have cleared 4 of the murders that have occurred this year, with an additional 2 from last year," he said. "There are at least 3 other murders that we are close to also solving," he added. He said the motives for the murders committed in Manchester vary. "We don't have a gang problem in our parish. We have, however, groups that are involved in illegal activities, scamming, robberies, and sometimes there are conflicts between how the spoils are shared, and we have some incidents of murder emanating from the kind of conflict," he explained. 5 high-end vehicles stolen from mart in one night, man charged. A man accused of stealing 5 high-end motor vehicles from a popular car dealership in New Kingston in one night was charged by police on Monday. Richard Michael Sudlow, aka Richard Simpson, was charged after 3 BMWs, a Mercedes-Benz, and a Range Rover were stolen from the dealership, which sells used and new motor vehicles. Sudlow is charged with office breaking and larceny, 5 counts of larceny of motor vehicles, conspiracy, receiving stolen property, and making a false declaration. The vehicles were reportedly stolen on March 16, 2022. Details of the robbery were not immediately available, but reporters understand that someone gained access to the office at the dealership and pressed keys that were found. Whichever vehicle responded was driven off the property. Company representatives discovered the robbery the following day and reported the matter to the police. Sudlow was recently held driving the Range Rover in St. Elizabeth. He was detained and, following further investigations, was charged in connection with the robbery. May 16 trial for businessman Michael Esau. The trial of businessman Michael Esau, who is charged with resisting arrest and indecent language, has been pushed back to May 16. The trial did not start in the St. James Parish Court, as the prosecution indicated that it needed more time to hand over an understanding witness statement. As a result, a new trial date was set and his bail extended. Issa is being represented by attorneys Michael Hemmings and Gordon Brown. During yesterday's proceedings, Hemmings argued that the charges currently against Issa ought not to stand in the absence of his previous charges of negligent loss of firearm, which the court dismissed by way of no evidence ruling on March 17. However, Parish Judge Keisha Grant countered, saying Issa's current charges do not need a parent charge in order for him to be tried. Issa was arrested and charged with negligence, loss of firearm, resisting arrest, and indecent language on the night of January 13, hours after his stepson, Gabriel King, was murdered. It is understood that the loss of the firearm was not connected to the death of the child, who was autistic. King's mother, which drew national outrage, reportedly happened when his mother, Amoilio Issa, was carjacked while driving along the Tokomain Road towards downtown Montego Bay, St. James. The mother was reportedly maneuvering around potholes when men approached her, slapped her in the face, and dragged her from the car before driving off with young King in the back seat. The vehicle was later abandoned off the Fairview Main Road with the child's body lying on the back seat of the car with the throat slashed. Cop cleared of corruption charge, seek reinstatement. A police constable who was cleared of corruption charge is now seeking to return to duties after nearly 5 years on suspension. Adrian Downing was charged for breaching the Corruption Prevention Act following allegations that he collected $12,000 to return a cell phone that was seized during a police operation. He has been on suspension since 2017 when he was charged. His attorney, Donovan Collins, said he is now in the process of writing to the Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson to inform him of the outcome of the case and request that Adrian be reinstated. From the matter is completely favorable, then he should get back his job, but it takes a process, he told reporters. Adrian was acquitted in the Trelawney Parish Court on April 1, midway throughout his trial after prosecutors offered no further evidence against him. The case reportedly collapsed because the main witness did not attend court on several dates after he had comments giving evidence in cross-examination by Adrian's attorney. The attorney believes that police investigators sometimes are too quick to file criminal charges. In this case, I don't believe they should have charged him. They should have done some more investigation to ensure that they understand the legislation properly, he said, referring to the Corruption Prevention Act. Transport Authority expresses regret at employee security guard incident at Coronado Primary School. The Transport Authority says it has launched an internal investigation into the report of an altercation between one of its employees and a security guard at the Coronado Primary School in St. James on Monday. Expressing regret and grave concern regarding the incident, the authority said it is awaiting the outcome of the internal investigation and will treat the findings in accordance with its grievance procedures and the disciplinary codes. Meanwhile, the authority underscored that it encourages all employees to resolve conflicts in a constructive and amicable manner. It said it empathizes with the teachers, parents, and in particular, the students who were exposed to this display of violence. The police are also conducting an independent investigation into the matter. St. James District Constable found dead at home. 61-year-old St. James District Constable Marlon Brown was found dead at his home on Monday evening. Brown, otherwise called Big Brown, of Eden in this district in the parish, was attached to the Mount Salem police station. He had reported a complaint to several colleagues on Sunday that he was not feeling well and left work to go home. When he did not return to work on Monday, several phone calls were made to his cell phone, but there was no answer. A team of cops went to his home to check on him and found him lying motionless on his bed. He was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. His wife has been overseas. Brown had been a district constable at Mount Salem since 1989. His colleagues had described him as very kind, loving, jovial, and hard-working individual who is always on the ball and always ready to assist persons within the constabulary force and in his community. Woman among 4 arrested for illegal firearm in Manchester. Police have detained 4 people, including a woman, after she was found to be in possession of an illegal firearm during a stop-and-search operation in Mandeville on Tuesday afternoon. Head of the Manchester Police, Superintendent Lloyd Darby, confirmed that officers were carrying out the operation in the vicinity of the Mandeville Police Station when a Honda motor car was intercepted. During a search of the vehicle and its occupants, the police said the lone female was found to be in possession of the firearm. The weapon and vehicle were seized and the 4 people taken into police custody. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.